Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back again. I'm Diego, and today I have the pleasure of reviewing the latest Yeezy 450 in the Dark Slate colorway. Check it out. Alright, so we got the Yeezy 450, which first made an appearance in a photo snapped of Kanye wearing them in late 2018. People lost their minds wondering, what are those? When do they come out? What are they called? And finally, March 6th of 2021, we got that cloud white colorway that came out. People loved it, people hated it, lots of reactions. And now we've got the second iteration, the Dark Slate colorway, coming out on June 25th. So I'm very excited to dive in with the details of these. It's a very polarizing shoe. Like I said, you love it or you hate it. Either way, it's a conversation starter. We're gonna get into the details. We're gonna compare it to the Cloud White. I'm gonna talk about comfort, sizing, all of that. So let's dive right in. So here it is, the 450 Dark Slate. And I would argue one of the craziest shoe designs of 2021. Definitely one of the more ambitious designs in the Yeezy line, and I think we're just scratching the surface when it comes to crazy designs. Now I gotta admit, the Dark Slate colorway I think is a great second iteration of the Cloud White. We've gone from that far all white debut, and now we're going to the far extreme all black, and I think it leaves a lot of headway and room in the middle for some color combinations to come out in the future. So it's exciting to see what they're gonna do with this silhouette because it is nuts. Now with the Cloud White, in comparison, I gotta admit that the Dark Slate just draws me in more. To me, I think it's the better of the two so far because the Cloud White, being lighter, exposes that midsole, and you just see a lot more of the detail that are crazy and polarizing, you know? And with the Dark Slate, it's darker, it's more toned down, more discreet. I think it'll be easier to style, and I personally love black shoes. They just go with everything. Now, I would counter that the Cloud White is more summer friendly. Either way, this is more of a shoe that screams style, not so much practicality. This is not gonna be a shoe you wanna wear every day. It's not gonna have a ton of longevity, but it's for the love of sneakers and design. I gotta admit also, the Cloud White reminds me of the 350 Sesame colorway that came out ages ago. And whereas the Dark Slate is kind of like the Cinder counterpart. So there's some similarities there with past releases, and I think starting with all white and all black is a solid choice. Now let's get into those details, comparing the two. Quickly, starting with the box, I went ahead and got a size 9.5. You will notice that the box is much slimmer compared to, say, a 350 V2 box, and upon opening it, you understand why, because you can see the sneakers are jammed in there like some sardines. Now, that is because the shoe doesn't have a whole lot of structure, so for the sake of the video, I will have inserted some cardboard shoe inserts to maintain the shape of the shoe. Starting with the upper of the shoe, we do have a classic prime knit. It is soft to the touch and is a bit stretchy as well. The prime knit itself comes in two colors, with the majority of it being a muted deep gray color that here is called Dark Slate appropriately. And we do have hits of light earth brown near the rear upper part of the heel. And by contrast, the Cloud White colorway shares polar opposite color tones with a very light tan upper, and it shares the similarity of having a very light muted nude color near the back portion of the sneaker. At the top of the shoe, we've got the sock-like ankle support that is very stretchy and wraps around your ankle in a really comfortable way. Now, the laces on the Dark Slate are a nice solid black rope lace design. We've seen the same type of laces on previous silhouettes, and here they provide a really great contrast against that Dark Slate prime knit upper. In comparison, the Cloud White shares similarities where the laces match the midsole, and the prime knit upper has a different shade of cream white. The shoelace eyelets are directly part of the prime knit upper, so they have that same amount of stretch with some great wiggle room for the laces, and they protrude upwards as not to be felt on the top of your foot when your foot is nice and snug inside the 450. Moving on to the midsole, which is arguably the craziest design aspect of the 450, we have a 3D printed EVA foam material that has been created and manufactured in Germany. Some people are referring to it as the claw or even a rib cage. It can even kind of look like flames, to be honest. I think it looks like a hair clip sometimes, but at the end of the day, this crazy midsole provides all of the structure and support since the upper is completely made up of that sock-like prime knit, which doesn't have much shape to it. Flipping the shoe over, we've got a full-length hard rubber outsole that comes in a muted dark gray, almost dark blue shade of color. With wave-like patterns covering the entirety of the outsole, they mirror the silhouette of the midsole to come together and create a whole organic, unique design. And in contrast, the Cloud White shares the same design aspect but comes in a bright white outsole. As far as branding goes, there's only a small Adidas performance logo on the bottom of the outsole, closer to the top end. And the rest of the shoe has no other logos or branding indicating that it's an Adidas or Yeezy, so I think it's a great minimalistic look, and I'm glad they went that route. The insole of the shoe comes in that same very dark, almost blue color that was seen on the outsole. It is a classic Adidas Ortho Light insole with pops of colors on the bottom that you'll never see, but you do have the size tag on there, which is very unique. Now, it does have the indication to flip the size tag under the insole when placing it back into the sneaker. Now when it comes to comfort on the 450, I'm gonna rank them at a 6.57 out of 10. 10 out of 10 being a Yeezy 380 or an Ultra Boost 20 because those have a lot of boost, super squishy and comfortable, and this having the EVA foam is not as soft. But it is comfortable overall for all day wear, just not like days and days and days at a time. Now, on the plus side, you have that prime knit, which is stretchy, it is breathable. You've got the sock-like fit around the ankle, so these things aren't gonna fly off your foot anytime, they're snug. And I do love the shape of the heel. It mimics just the motion of when you're walking, so that's just a great detail. It is similar to the Foam Runner and the 380, so those are plus points there. So the comfort is actually also going to depend on the sizing choices that you make. So I recommend you make the right choice and you go up half a size, just like you would on a 350 V2 or a 380. That's what I chose to do, and it fits just perfect. I have a bit wider feet, so half a size is great. If you have really wide feet, you might want to go up a full size, but the shoe is rather narrow and the prime knit has some give, it'll stretch over time, but the claw midsole that wraps around, those are here to stay. They're not gonna move much, and sometimes you can feel them if the shoe is too tight around your pinky toe and your big toe, you're gonna feel them kind of push against after a long time. So I recommend half a size up. All right, so when it comes to pricing, we're looking at 200 bucks on the retail release. Just like the Cloud White, they're going to release on the Confirmed app and Yeezy Supply. They are going to sell out very quickly because it's such a polarizing new silhouette. But then again, every Yeezy silhouette pretty much sells out fast. Now, another thing to consider when choosing between the two colorways is that the Cloud White colorway is going to be much harder to keep clean than this Dark Slate because of the texture of the EVA foam and the grooves here between the claws. Dirt and dust are just gonna cling into that, and it's just harder to keep a white shoe clean versus an all black one. That's just plain and simple. So as far as keeping clean and styling, the Dark Slate is gonna be an easier choice. But I wanna know what you think, so drop some comments below. Do you plan on getting the Dark Slate, or do you prefer the Cloud Whites, or do you just overall not dig the 450 silhouette? I respect that, it's not for everyone. Personally, I wish that there were infinity laces on these. I think it would just work. It would be cleaner. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Do you plan on swapping out the laces, adding a little pop of color? Nothing wrong with that. And do you think they're worth the price of resale, between $400 and 500 bucks? Personally, I would hold off on paying 2 to 3 times the price at retail. I think we're gonna see more color combinations, so comment below which colors you wish these would come out in. And if you did enjoy the video, I'd really appreciate it if you thumbs it up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Go ahead and look back on some of my previous videos and be sure not to miss a future one by turning on that bell notification. And in the meantime, I'll catch you on the next one.